court to God. The white man is the devil.
See, I've been in here for a little minute. You know what I'm saying? And I see niggas, they like to talk a lot. They like to claim leadership. They like to claim this and that. You know what I'm saying? They like to be above what they really is and have authority. But they don't really need that authority. They don't really know what to do with that leadership. You understand? You hold hands with this white man. Need to stop and ask you to give a damn what you talk about. Don't give a fuck what you believe, nigga. Gotta stand up to serve my God. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. Yeah. See, everybody ain't with all that peace talk. Everybody ain't with all that bygone be. Boy, ask you to stop and ask you to prop. It's about to get serious. When they hit us with dope and kill us with crack, where the fuck with your leaders? I'm curious. He cashed out on your blood, traded you in and bought a new biz. Ask you the prophets, I tell you the scheme. If you don't wake up, you gon' die in your dreams. I say you won't tell you no more. I swear these crackers try to kill us slow. Just spoke to a nigga and fed he up for parole. Because of the COVID, it feel like the host in this world, it don't go together. Nowhere it's golden and ghetto. I'm in the city blazing with my niggas. Just told the devil the score never settle. Yeah, see the prophets. I'm tired of these niggas keep talking about, you know, you respect my religion, I respect your religion. Boy, your ass need to stop and ask you the prophets. You know, like we all come together. Cause you know, they say God so loved the world. God so loved the world and know. Boy, your ass need to stop and ask you the prophets. Don't give a damn what you talk about. Don't give a fuck what you believe, nigga. Gotta stand up to serve my God. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. Yeah. Hey, gentlemen, we don't pray on our knees, nigga. Gotta stand up. You know what I'm saying? Boy, your ass need to stop and ask you the problem. Step, I'm silent for show. To the fake niggas, stay silent, I got it, let's go. I ain't taking no loss, I ain't no token when we got the flow. Ain't no peace, just play with you. I'ma be loyal to the right arm. Tell him we can't keep it slate. And I can never let bygone be bygone. Got your baby mother on high. Got your baby pass through the fire. Ask you the prophets, that baby soul belong to the Lord. How dare you abort it? Devil will failure, bitch, I can afford it. I prepare slaughter, you bring me my water. Push your leaders weak, let them lies slip through their teeth. Their ass need to stop and ask you the prophets.
That's just the reality, Christians. I'm sorry to hurt your feelings. I know your pastor lied to you every Sunday for 30 years, but that's what the church is for, lying. That's why they exist, to lie the money out of your pockets.
Boy, your ass need to stop and ask you to give a damn what you talk about. Don't give a fuck what you believe, nigga. Gotta stand up to serve my God. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. Gotta stand up to serve my God. We don't pray on our knees, nigga.
See, y'all think it's just about us in here, but this is about an oppressive, fucked up system designed to keep niggas down and shit. Y'all wouldn't know nothing about that. What about you, little nigga? You know about that?
Yes.
Oh, you know about that? Tell me what you know about that. Tell me what you think about that.
I turn up when it's real in the field. This for my niggas that kneel on the field. Light-skinned nigga, you gon' find me in the field. House niggas looking at a nigga like chill. I go hard when it's real in the field. This for my niggas that kneel on the field. Light-skinned nigga, find me in the field. I don't give a fuck how a house nigga feel. Belly of the beast, we been living in hell. They like, damn, Kai, how could you tell? Put us in the project, set us up to fail. Round here, bullets be flying like hell. Too many of my niggas either dead or in jail. Make a nigga work when you locked in a cell. Can't find work when you out on bail, but your homie got the work, so he passed you a scale. Got them birds like the Bible got quail. Niggas selling out cause they mama got bills. Turning to coons like Oprah and Gail. How you sell your soul just to get a little kale? They put you in a dress when you get a record deal. Wanna see a nigga getting high on pills? You can dance on a pole, you can sell that tail, but they never tell a nigga that he can go to Yale. We all created equal, that's white males. All lives matter, not black males. Another mother crying, another coffin got a nail. How many brothers out here got killed? How many of our sisters out here gotta heal? How many more caps gotta get peeled? We beef with each other so quick to pull the steel. George Zimmerman still alive and well. I turn up when it's real in the field. This for my niggas that kneel on the field. Light-skinned nigga, you can find me in the field. House niggas looking at a nigga like chill. I go hard when it's real in the field. This for my niggas that kneel on the field. Light-skinned nigga, find me in the field. I don't give a fuck how a house nigga feel. I turn up when it's real in the field. Feel. This for my niggas that kneel on the field. Feel. Light-skinned nigga, you gon' find me in the field. Feel. House niggas looking at a nigga like chill, chill, yo, chill.
The industrial complex is a system situated at the intersection of government and private interests. It uses prisons as a solution to social, political, and economic problems. It includes human rights violations, the death penalty, slave labor, policing, courts, the media, political prisoners, and the elimination of dissent.
They just want us to die in silence. They just want us to die in silence. I might start me a fucking riot. Slave rebellion, no compliance. They just want us to die in silence. They murder minds like they got a license. I pray for the coronavirus to kill all of these violent tyrants. They prey on us like they poaching lions. World War III's on the horizon. Black and Hispanics form alliance. From the west coast to the islands, this pressure is making diamonds. They've awakened sleeping giants. I turn up when it's real in the field. This for my niggas that kneel on the field. Light-skinned nigga, you can find me in the field. House niggas looking at a nigga like chill. I go hard when it's real in the field. This for my niggas that kneel on the field. Light-skinned nigga, find me in the field. I don't give a fuck how a house nigga feel. I turn up when it's real in the field. Feel. I don't give a fuck how a house nigga feel. But feel.
Nigga, did you just say what I was trying to say, but smarter? I like this little nigga.
One West, 12 tribes, UPK. Yeah. I'm a One West rapper, no half stepper. Cross that path at the camp, you know better. UPK, I'll die for those letters. I'll ride for those letters. The squad is forever. Ever since a nigga was young, I knew what I wanted. Knew that we could either be hunters or with the hunted. Meaning only choice was the predators or the prey. Shortest man wherever I was, but I didn't play. Then I started spitting, step fire to every stage. Rap gave a little bit of buzz, but it didn't stay. Then I started hustling, getting at some bread. I always went broke, making sure that my niggas fed. But then I looked for loyalty, niggas, they wasn't there. The same that I shed blood for, and it wasn't fair. But fuck it though, turn they back on a real nigga. It's when I found UPK and I'm still with them. Drill with them, cause I've been in the field with them. Fringed up garments, rocking the shield with them. I never turn traitor, I never let my colors fly. Never get my brother's book. I ain't like that other guy, nothing like them funny groups. They just better get in line. If you in the middle, you confused, you should pick a side. Me, I must stay loyal to the king till the day I die. I am One West, head beating in my chest. Fuck all the rest, we stayed, y'all left. Suckers ran scared, had to clean up y'all mess. That's why we took over, I can see that y'all stressed. We ain't got time to worry about no hater. My life is like a movie, should come with a narrator. They gather data, they wanna see us assimilated. Marching through the streets, know we coming, you hear our cadence. All you smell is Henny and frankincense is the fragrance. Cause I'm a One West rapper, no half stepper. Cross that path at the camp, you know better. UPK, I'll die for those letters, I'll ride for those letters. The squad is forever. I'm a One West rapper, no half stepper. Cross that path at the camp, you know better. UPK, I'll die for those letters, I'll ride for those letters. My squad is forever. It's forever. Squad is forever. When a nigga in this mode like I get so hyped, shining blinding like a strobe light. I'm my only calm, so I battle me back and forth nights like a bullfight. I see red charge and destroy Mike. Gave me foresight, so I know that winning the war might have them all tight. Fuck their feelings, cause they the soft type. I was always taught never turn your back on your brothers. Take on any enemy, know the strength in these numbers. UPK official, and ain't no coward among us. So make me go and bang with them sticks like I'm a drummer. How y'all gonna run with the style that we invented? You always talk the war was wild, but you never in it. All that coulda, shoulda, woulda. I see how you try to spin it. The way my soldiers move out, you think that we got evicted. It's One West in the building, we owning it while you renting. Lyrical exercise in the booth is my Planet Fitness. Words move you like calisthenics. Bars heavy, so when I bench it, I'm building up a hardcore. I flex when I'm finished. And right after a light workout, it's back to business. Group sick of UPK, cause we the illest. I got one question, will they ever stop hating? Waiting on this war so long, I'm salivating. Niggas turn bitch so strong, I call them Caitlyn. I get the green light, let's go, no hesitation. Y'all just been holding our spot like reservations. Now we back to work while you suckers still on vacation. Mixtape singles and even collaborations. They smiling in the face, but I know I see aggravation. You ain't got to hide it though, you fucking mighty cone. UPK bringing that heat, you know the fire's on. It's One West. Cause I'm a One West rapper, no half stepper. Cross that path at the camp, you know better. UPK, I'll die for those letters. I ride for those letters, the squad is forever. One West rapper, no half stepper. Cross that path at the camp, you know better. UPK, I'll die for those letters. I'll ride for those letters, the squad is forever. It's forever. The squad is forever.
Yeah. Go ahead. Come on, West. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Look, I keep it loyal to the T. UBK play for keeps. Ain't shit sweet, got soldiers on deck, and my youngin' did a sweep. This a whole nother way. Go ahead. Tell him get the fuck off the beach. Go ahead. I'm in the field with the cleats. He ain't one of us here breach. Nigga, come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas gon' retreat. Come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas gon' retreat. I'm in the field with the cleats. He ain't one of us here breach. Come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas gon' retreat. Go ahead. This shit is too easy. I'm on gold, but they don't believe me. You know I'm winning with the team. Screaming Vinny, 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 Beach. Hear them devils screaming out bloody murder. I'm about to close the curtain. I'm on my grind, bitch, and work. Sorry, all them lies, it ain't working. Them niggas weak, they be church. I'm a West nigga, that's for certain. If he cross the line, I'ma back up and I'ma hit his ass with this virus. And I come through 300 strong, 144 Leonidas. All my niggas we eat. I'm in this bitch with the Ibis. Say all y'all do the street. Tell y'all let's do the street. If a nigga made the wrong move, he make his ass out the league. He ain't one of us hit the league. He ain't one of us here preach. Come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas go retreat. Go ahead. I keep it loyal to the T. UBK play for keeps. Ain't shit sweet, got soldiers on deck, and my youngin' did a sweep. This a whole nother wave. Tell him get the fuck off the beach. I'm in the field with the cleats. He ain't one of us here breach. Nigga, come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas gon' retreat. Come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas gon' retreat. I'm in the field with the cleats. He ain't one of us here breach. Come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas gon' retreat.
You see this look that's on my face, bitch, I'm for real with it. I hit the streets, put on my cleats, was in the field with it. You soft as cotton, just an actor, Uncle Phil with it. And then my target's on the move, but I can still hit it. Hey, I speak true cause it's necessary. Gullah Jack revolutionary. Cold on them like January. Commander General is a visionary. Soul food, no sweets. Your preacher man, he's sweet. Matter of fact, he weak. It's wartime for peace. Think you hard, nigga, you ain't. Fuck with us, nigga, you can't. You smart cars, we pace. We form up in ranks. We body bag this rap shit. All black, no bright shit. Real life, no cap, bitch. Fall on them, that's cap shit.
I keep it loyal to the T. UBK play for keeps. Ain't shit sweet, got soldiers on deck, and my youngin' did a sweep. This a whole nother wave. Tell him get the fuck off the beach. I'm in the field with the cleats. He ain't one of us here breach. Nigga, come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas gon' retreat. Come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas gon' retreat. I'm in the field with the cleats. He ain't one of us here breach. Come through all black gully jack, man. All them niggas gon' retreat. Go ahead.
One West is too raid, son. That's where I came from. That is my A1s. I'm talking day one. Rest of these niggas out here is just fake, son. Look, you can hate, son. You cannot take, son. I've been in every hood out of my state, son. Out in these streets, I'm steady blazing. Looking to cut a nigga like I'm Jason. I am the one. This is the Matrix. Going so hard that they think I'm an agent. Going so hard that they said I'm a Mason. These are the facts, though. I'm just amazing. There is no other way that I could state them. Iron my spot, they'll never be vacant. These niggas lazy. They got complacent. They wanna level these fucking Caucasians. How the fuck we gonna rebuild our nation? You niggas feminine, go get some makeup. Sorry, but my love is only for Jacob. We had some hard days, we learned some hard ways. Always ways. Just know that I pray that we get it out the dust. Only thing that I trust, knowing that my niggas gon' bust. That's thumbing up the rush, thinking that you won't get touched. Fuck when my brother get crushed, been through too much. Always come through in the clutch. Nigga just do what it does, fuck you thought shit was. Cause nigga it wasn't. Know that I do this a dozen. Always kept it 100. Niggas know I never stunning. And I keep shit running, even on the days when the pain keep coming, or a nigga fucked up and he feel like numbing. Show goes on, I just keep on drumming my faith, even on the days I wanna break. Saying how much could I take, still kept my faith, even when these niggas act fake. Even when it came like a snake, still kept my faith. Some days I ain't even wanna wake. Some days that my heart had aches, still kept my faith. Even on the days I wanna break. Some days that my heart had aches, still kept my faith.
Dark days with no night vision, that's why my heart is a cave and there's ice in it. Don't even trust niggas no more, Lord is my witness. Me and these niggas ain't the same, it's a slight difference. Thought a nigga had my back, now it's a knife in it. But now I'm back at the back like it's the ninth inning. Still got the backpack packed in the back of the camp van. Taking any given chance to blaze on the white man. Son of Benjamin, born on the right hand. Never losing grip, I understand who I am. Met a man to show me the right path. Now I'm rooted in the truth, to rule is my plan. And I can never lose sight like a night exam. Sharp as iron, I was forged by fire, man. In the circle of life, how could I tire, man? I was undesired, had no one. And then I met these men and it changed how I'm living. Their words was convicting, called that a life sentence. Now I need a witness, but no, I'm not Christian. My faith in these scriptures, man, not no religion, man. It's like Tazab, and I'm with my brother Katazai. Man, you niggas too sweet like baklava. Niggas better not make a nigga bring them choppers out. Better pray for your health like the doctors out. Just be faithful. One day you'll be thankful. Wonder why they hateful. Luckily I got angels. I'm so thankful. Yes, I'm so thankful. Used to be ashamed, and even before I changed,
still kept my faith. Even on the days I wanna break. Saying how much could I take, still kept my faith. Even when these niggas act fake. Even when it came like a snake, still kept my faith. Some days I ain't even wanna wake. Some days that my heart had aches, still kept my faith. Even on the days I wanna break. Some days that my heart had aches, still kept my faith.
And I didn't even notice it. All right, clap it up, clap it up. All right, Shalom Israel, y'all Bashim Yashab, Thumb to the brothers, y'all Shamar Latam Bashim Yashab to the sisters. Shout out to my Rib Morocco pot. Shout out to South Dakota, the sister out there. Got it. And shout out to the brother Trooper Kwan Yala, holding it down. This is Tuesday, Brotherhood class. We are the ISUPK, established in 1969, 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, led by Commanding General Yohana. We are not affiliated with any organization. Pay your tithes to the UPK. You can go to isupk.com, scroll down to the donate now button. You can pay your tithes, make donations there. If you got the Zelle app, first name Israelite School, last name UPK. Email tithes at isupk.com. You can pay your tithes, make donations there as well. $, if you got the Cash app, $, UPK Minnesota, to make any contributions to our zone. Otherwise, again, get in contact with the school near you. So we had a shout out to the Passover. Clap it up for the Passover too. So all the brothers and sisters that came out there. Again, you had a lot of people that came out there solo. Again, the sister from South Dakota came out there with her 2 sons.
That's right.
Strong looking young men too, by the way, sis.
That's right.
And together, growing this together in our region, they're gonna just grow stronger and stronger. And we can see the zeal with you. We can see the zeal with your boys. Yeah, you had them decked out with the apparel. I mean, like that was glorious to see.
Right.
And you had a lot of other brothers and sisters coming from different zones. Their first time coming to this. The Trooper Kwan Yala, never been to like one of the major functions like this. You know, kicking it with the brothers in Minnesota, but never been to that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Took that 18-hour drive with us. Sister Morocco Pot, my Rib Morocco Pot, also same thing. Did a lot of driving too. Mm-hmm. And her first major get together with the brothers and sisters. she's seen them in Chicago and in Milwaukee. But this was like one of the big pushes. So it's good to see everybody in the right spirit and being greeted with that same spirit too. It's again, from the outside looking in, people will never know what this is until you actually experience it with us. The security, the safety, not only just the numbers, but the intention behind it. You got brothers that on Samar like 24/7. In all the different hotels, all the different Airbnbs, all the different arrangements that had to get made.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was covered down. And that's an important thing to focus on continuing after the Passover. We don't want nobody, especially men, to lose sight of the mission, of the goal. Like, the job ain't done yet. And for all the brothers that graduated Hebrew Academy, shout out to them too.
That's right.
Clap up for all the brothers that graduated Hebrew Academy. They got their covers. Most High in Christ. Like, this is different. This is very different than what the world would expect from a whole bunch of niggas, spics, and savages. So it's important to not only recognize the times that we in, but to keep it relative to what's going on here. And we got the whole Ukraine Russian war. You still got the COVID, so Bitcoin, like all these different disputations that people are bickering over. We still got a job to do. No matter what the distraction is, we still got a job to do. So all the brothers that graduated Hebrew Academy, we, and including myself, like, we cannot forget what the mission is. We cannot forget what we are to be attentive to. So a couple things that we just want to bring out. Like, I always like to start off Zephaniah 2:1. This is something a lot of people still don't want to. They're gonna try to count themselves, trying to be peaceable and trying to bridge the gap, but then in the back of their heads they still on that 2/3 doctrine, or they still got Christianity in their hearts, or they still halfway Muslim, or Old Testament only, or Negro only. Like, it gets a little weird with the different divisions and the schisms that have broke off from the UPK since 1969.
Right.
Some of the other things that we are not to forget and not to take for granted. The fact that our leader had stood still when everybody else broke apart and crumbled.
Mm-hmm.
So Zephaniah 2:1, gather yourselves together, yea, gather together, O nation not desired. Again, we despised by the whole earth. And that's actually going to segue into a different scripture. Sorry, if I could. Know what they hated first. For everything that we do, for the food drives, the clothing drives, all the high holy days, all the functions that we put together for ourselves, that we extended open branch for everybody, every Israelite to come into. All the events, all the different functions, all the high holy days, all the holy convocations, all the classes. Even if you can't make it there physically, we still invite you to come in, at least, go live with us if you can. Visit us on the social media platforms, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, this, that, and the third. Invite your mama, spread all the links, like and share all the media across the board.
Right.
I'm not that savvy with some of the different platforms, so I mean, however, whatever you're linked into. Ask Maccabi, ask Officer 5000 Maccabi. If you need to know something about that, go to him. He'll definitely help you out, hook you up. And it's this is different than how everybody else holds it. We're not just trying to get views, but we're trying to spread the information, and we try to spread this truth. and how to connect with one another across such a broad scape of theologies, ideologies, different origin stories about, again, like Christianity, Islam. You know, some people still came out of well, all right, I can't say that because I don't personally know, but again, some like the stories are like with the commandment keepers still coming out of like even like the slave era,
right?
Like being the grandkids and great grandkids of those slaves coming out of that era, like Abba Bivens,
right?
And having a deeper, like a closer connection, as far removed as we are, and as far spread as social media puts us. Like we're trying to hone in on the people. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to hone in on that target demographic. This is strictly for Blacks, Hispanics, so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. This is only for Israel, from the 12 tribes. You got other people that have different understandings or belief systems about who the 12 tribes are. And it still circles all back to the same identifying markers, from the curses to the rewards. That nation not desired.
Right.
And we can't be afraid of that. This world hates. They're gonna hate you. They're gonna hate you because they jealous of you.
Right.
Because they don't get what you get out of this life.
That's right.
Which is all the more important that we back each other up and maintain this thing. So you got that?
Yeah.
Kind of good. So again, nation not desired. Remember that from Zephaniah 2:1. Compare that up with what Yahweh said.
John chapter 15, verse 18. Actually, let me go to verse 17. Nah, it's verse 16.
Oh.
16. John chapter 15, verse 16. Ye have not chosen me, but I have chosen you and ordained you that ye should go and bring forth fruit, and that your fruit should remain.
So now we were not chose, or it's like he chose us.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't choose the Most High. He chose us.
Mm-hmm.
He ordained us against everybody else.
Right.
You got all these prominent nations today.
Right.
If you look at them today, you got all these grand nations that got all this wealth, all this prestige, all this glory and honor and respect from everybody else.
Right.
China respects the Arab nations. Russia respects the East Indian nations. America respects the Middle East. They know that they can't just do certain things without repercussions and consequences.
Right.
There is that mutual kind of fear and respect amongst each other. And it's not just they don't want to look bad publicity wise. I think that's the word, right? Publicity wise, they don't want to just look bad on paper or in the news or in social media. They really deep down they don't care about that. Like they're ready to pop it off. They just don't want to make enemies unnecessarily, knowing that everybody is their adversary. We were not chosen because we were the military might.
Right.
We were not chosen because we had the deepest numbers or the most boots on the ground or the most drones in the air or the submarines in the ocean. We're still that nation not desired.
Right.
We're still together though.
Right.
Under this auspice that the Most High had chosen us. He had ordained us. Slacky, continue.
Done. That whatsoever ye shall ask of the Father in my name, he may give it to you. Give it you.
And that's such a heavy point that a lot of people, especially like them Old Testament only, or even a lot of Christians that claim the New Testament, that would try to count themselves as followers of Yahweh.
Right.
It's like repeat that part again.
Yeah.
Because like they missed the core points of this. So like
that whatsoever ye shall ask of the Father in my name,
or whatsoever ye shall ask of the Father in my name,
he may give it you.
He may give it you. Whatsoever you would ask in the Father in my name. That's like that. That's the heart that people miss. They think doing their Sunday communions is doing something in Yahweh's name. Easter, they claim is in Yahweh's name.
Right.
Christmas, they claim is in Yahweh's name. All these pagan origin traditions and customs that they tether into the scripture, they put a stain on Yahweh's name, but they claim it on his behalf. Islam, it's like they claim it on his behalf. They claim that they're doing the work of the Most High.
Right.
And look what their fruit is. Child molestation, abortion, rape, murder, drug addiction, incarceration. Crimes punishable by death according to our law. That they get away with. That they duck behind these scriptures. And because you've had such how would I say it? Famed leadership with your Christian churches, your Catholic churches, your Muslim mosques, all the what are they called? The schools on the reservations. The boarding schools, kind of so like the boarding schools, the authority that they've had just because of their colonization and their dominance. Then they pick up this book and they mask all of their actions behind these covers.
Right.
And that gives the illusion that they must be right. Just because they ruled that with that iron fist.
Right.
And they dominated the landscape. When if you actually studied the scriptures and you knew what these records were talking about, you'd understand that they hold no claim to this.
Right.
And that all of their actions, all of their words are null and void.
Right.
And that it's appropriate and right to ignore all that garbage and to focus on what's being taught properly within the UPK under Command General Yan.
That's right.
There's a very big difference in between what's being taught here and what's being taught outside of this school in any other organization. That's why we're not affiliated with any organization.
Right.
And we need to keep that those degrees of separation. Okay.
Verse 17. These things I command you, that ye love one another. Verse 18. If the world hate you, ye know that it hated me before it hated you.
So now it's also giving you that that scale. It's in the midst of the world hating you, you are still commanded to love one another.
Right.
In the midst of the Ukraine and Russian war, they did not forget to hate you.
Right.
In the midst of all that,
right.
In the midst of COVID-19, they did not forget to hate us. We are commanded to remember our bond.
That's right.
To remember that brotherhood and that sisterhood. We are commanded to honor our high holy days, our holy convocations. We are commanded to honor, compassion and forgiveness amongst each other, while the rest of the world is hating us.
That's right.
Despite what they do, we still got a job to do. We still got a mission ahead of us. We got a lot of ground to cover. We got a lot of ground to cover. There's a lot of reservations out there that we need to reach. There's a lot of ghettos and there's a lot of barrios out there that we need to reach. A lot of project housing units out there that we need to get in contact with, because that's our people. And I don't care if Travis and Tracy are, somewhere in the midst of the bulk of us. That is not our concern. They got their own people that should be able to help them out if they're in need of something. Our scope is on us. That nation that's not desired. That people that's being hated in his namesake.
Right.
It's like you continue with that.
Done. Read it from the side.
About just that last part again.
Done. If the world hate you,
if the world hates you, we're again that nation not desired.
Right.
If the world hates you, while they're going through World War on the cusp of World War III, while that world hated you, it's like
ye know that it hated me before it hated you.
Just know you're not alone in this, man.
Right.
They hated our king. They
Right.
hated the hell out of him.
That's
because
right.
of his dominance and his authority and his favor in the Most High eyes. They hated him because they knew, like they knew that they would have to subject themselves under his authority, under his rulership, and under our subsequently, because we are again that's our kingdom. That's our what's the word I'm looking for? First class citizens, the governing body. They knew that they would be under the authority of our governing body,
right,
which is established in these laws and these records. They hated the Most High. They hated Yahushua. They hated Israel. Just come to terms with that. Just shrug it off.
Right.
Like this has been going on. We've been dealing with this for hundreds of years already. And look at what we've done with that.
Right.
We've still excelled in every arena that we've been applied in.
That's right.
And they still hated us.
Right.
No matter what achievements we've contributed to modern society, they still hated us. They took all the credit. They bastardized our culture, took our identity, and they profited off of that.
Right.
And they left us in squalor. Don't forget that.
Right.
What's the one scripture? Though hand join in hand.
Yeah, Proverbs 11:21.
Like, don't forget that they still gonna get punished.
Right.
No matter how cool, like your weed cipher is. No matter how close everybody might seem, like when you're drunk or when you're on drugs, and you're just enjoying the moment, YOLO, just living in that space and time. Valuing each other as individuals and respecting, everybody's opinions and individuality and their right to life. And it's like
I got this. You want
week? It's like
no sweat. Proverbs chapter 11, verse 21. Though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not be unpunished.
They're not going to get away with this. And it's not our fault that their forefathers condemned them to that hell.
Right.
Like, that's on them. That's something that they got to argue with amongst themselves. They should, you know what? They should have corrected George Washington and Thomas Jefferson.
Right.
And what's dude's name? What was it? Trail of Tears. Was that Jefferson? Trail of Tears and Wounded Knee. Like all them bastards. All them bastards. It doesn't matter what their name. I was gonna say something else, but don't matter what their name is. That's their problem. That's amongst themselves. We got a job to do. We have our own focus that we need to get back to, which is why it can be difficult to walk this line in the UPK versus being accepted by everybody.
Right.
and you're gonna lose people along the way.
That's right.
And you know, we understand it. You're not the only person that's gonna lose somebody along the way. Your mother, your father, your brothers, your cousins, your best friends that you grew up with, whether they Israelite or not. Like a lot of them, they just gonna fall to the wayside. They're gonna hate you. Just know that they hated our king first, and you're not alone in this. So you can't use any of these carnal repercussions of you following the truth as an excuse to drop away from it.
Right.
We need to gather together. We that nation not desired. They hated our king to the point where they put him to death. They murdered him because he kept the law to the T. How like what are we supposed to do in his stead? We're supposed to build this nation. That's not desired. We're supposed to look out for one another.
Right.
We're supposed to protect one another. Which is why at the Passovers, at the high holy days, we're supposed to look out for one another, accommodate one another. You're not going to get that, like, sincerely. You're not going to get that outside of this. Outside of the UPK, they don't consider you as such. They're not gonna fight for you tooth and nail like this. If we could, Deuteronomy 7 and 6. Because again, there's a separation between us and them. And everybody else that, even if they are Israelites, that still maybe count themselves as Christians.
Right.
Or still out there on drugs. Sisters on the stripper poles. You know, brothers hustling in the streets. There's a lot of mechanisms to deter us from our, I don't want to say predestined path, but from these prophecies to fulfill them, because we want everybody to go through. We need everybody. You know, Ephraim, I'm from the tribe of Ephraim, so-called Puerto Rican. I'm from the tribe of Ephraim. I can't do this without Judah. We can't do this without Gad. We can't do this without Issachar. We can't do this without like Tabak from Zebulun. You know what I'm saying? We can't do this without Naphtali and Levi and Benjamin. We can't do this without the rest of our brothers and sisters. You're not alone. And all that pressure that's coming down on us from all these different angles, financial, religious, the ideological, how would I say, like the framework that, you know, like the social acceptance that people want everybody to conform to. The ideology of the LGBTQ blah 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 community. Everything that they want us to accept. Everything that goddamn, everything that they're teaching their kids, they got us in the cartoons, or they got homosexuality is, can we still say that? Yeah. In the cartoons and in so-called you know, family-friendly shows or movies, the way that they're trying to normalize their ideology, their way of life, the same thing that went on in Babylon, like the exact same thing. The interracial marriages, the gross homosexuality acceptance. Again, they're trying to bridge that gap, make everybody comfortable with that, make everybody submit to that. When that's not us. You had families that died over not eating pork, over not sacrificing that on the altars, when they would have been given riches for doing so. I mean, it's just a pig. It's, you know, what harm could that do for you? They understood that it harmed the culture, that it harmed their their way of life, and that it was an offense to the Most High. While again, everybody else happy to do it because they got benefits out of it. They're still trying to push that on us today.
Right.
Which is why we cannot let up, no matter how the pressure comes in what shape, way, or form. We are that nation not desired. They gonna hate us the same way that they hated our king.
Mm-hmm.
And we are expected to maintain that discipline. Everybody who made it to the Passover, against all the odds, again, like all the problems, all the issues that popped up with your vehicles, with your rentals, with your hotels, everybody that came through.
Passover demons.
Yeah, them Passover demons was real.
Yeah.
It was real, but they didn't stop us.
Right.
They stopped some people. They stopped some of them. And it's a learning process. But again, you gotta, like, in the heat of the moment, you can't lose your cool, you can't lose your focus. You gotta stick with it.
Right.
And follow the orders. Follow the orders that are given. That'll save you a lot of time, a lot of headaches.
Mm-hmm.
And plan ahead of time.
Right.
Plan ahead of time. I mean, we got a whole nother year before the next Passover. Get your ducks in a row for whatever you might need. Whether if you had a bad experience flying with a certain airline, look into another one. Vehicle problems. Maybe you need that oil change now, and maybe get 4, 5, 6 more of them before you head out on the road. Start planning ahead of time. A lot of the issues were just poor preparation. So don't let that get in the way of, again, what we got to do. The job ain't done yet.
That's right.
The job ain't done. We got a lot of work to do. Slacky, Deuteronomy 7 and 6.
Done. Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 6. But thou art an holy people.
And holy people. That word holy means separate. It means you special. You different than everybody else. Okay?
Unto the Lord thy God.
Unto the Lord thy God. That is a possessive statement. Unto the Lord thy God. Not everybody else's God. Thy God. You are a special people unto the Lord thy God. That nation that's not desired, that king that we are in allegiance with, in obedience under, we are a holy people unto the Lord thy God. Keep going.
Done. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself.
And again, the Lord thy God had chosen thee. Just like we were chosen, we were ordained. We didn't choose the Most High, he chose us. We didn't choose our ordination, he chose us. We were a chosen people unto the Lord thy God. Keep going.
Mm-hmm. Above all people
above all people, Salakia. That's such a beautiful statement right there.
Mm-hmm.
That our kids need to hear.
Right.
Above all people.
Mm-hmm.
Above all people. We are chosen by our power.
Right.
Above all people. Even though we are a nation not desired by everybody else.
Right.
Even though our king was hated by the world, by the earth. And subsequently, we are going to be hated for his namesake.
Right.
We were still chosen to be above all people on the face of the earth. We were a special people, chosen above all the other people on the face of the earth. That should do something for our confidence and for our self-respect, and to also take to heart the respect and the consideration that we need to give one another.
Mm-hmm.
And especially again during these times, we're still dealing with that pandemic. We're still dealing with the Ukraine-Russian war. We're still dealing with the metaverse and the whole what do they call it? Not virtual reality. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much what it's turning into the whole virtual reality, kind of like symbiotic, like life that everybody's kind of transitioning to, especially with like the Bitcoin and all that too, the metaverse. Even into that, as a people, we still chosen above everybody else. Like I don't care like how glorious or how fancy they make all that seem. We still have our designation. They have theirs.
Right.
You gotta come to terms with that.
Right.
Though hand joined in hand, that wicked ain't gonna be unpunished.
Right.
You gotta let them serve their punishment, man. We've been serving ours as our transgression against the laws.
Right.
We've been serving ours. Ain't nobody giving us consideration while we are serving out our punishment. So much to the point where we're not even considering ourselves in that matter. We're not showing any compassion towards one another while we are living in captivity and under this oppression.
Right.
Which is, again is like messed up because we used to this. We used to being oppressed. We used to living in unlivable conditions and still prospering and still contributing to society and still functioning as rational people.
Right.
But as the world seems to like get better for them, what they say? When our house is on fire, who is that? Malcolm X? Our house is on fire.
Talking about I let my people into a burning building.
And not just that, but
That's what he said.
all right, so that was Martin Luther King. Let my people into a burning building, and he realized that way too late. I think he knew that beforehand, but he was too busy getting his rocks off, or as you might. Again, he forgot his people. But I think it was Malcolm X who made that statement about how we look at our oppressor, like when something happens to them, we consider it as our problem also. Right. Again, that whole Ukraine-Russia thing ain't got nothing to do with so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians.
Right.
But we still think that our house is on fire. We still think that problem is ours. That ain't got nothing to do with us.
Right.
We ain't got no ties with Russia. We ain't got no ties with Ukraine. Ain't got jack shit to do with us. World War I and II didn't have nothing to do with us. But we fought in their wars. We died in their wars. Families died in their wars. Generations died in their wars, servicing their military. All because we got to drink out of the same bubbler and sit down at the same restaurants as them devils with they bland ass food, like getting assaulted and accosted, just trying to pretend like we're equal with them when we are better than them. When they had us feeling that we were inferior to them. But all the evidence was shown throughout history that, we the best. We the salt of the earth. And we forgot that amongst each other and how to value that amongst each other. That nation not desired. Even though we were chosen above all the people on the face of the earth. Now, there was a contingency to that too. In Deuteronomy, was it 28, 29, about if we were to hearken unto the word of the Lord our God, that we would get all these benefits.
Right.
We would be stationed up. Otherwise, if we were to break them, all these curses are going to follow suit. And that's what we're experiencing now. And now it's starting to come back in remembrance. And it's right. A damn shame that we had to go through all this to come back to our heritage. But it is coming back. That's right. The other part that we need to focus on too. It's happening. We can't dwell on the mistakes, of last night, of last year, of 100 years ago. Take into account what happened, I have no sweat. Take that as what was written aforetime was written for our learning.
That's right.
All right, no sweat. Take them records into account, but we got to keep moving forward.
Right.
We can't be stagnant. We can't afford that. Like it's starting to ramp up. It's starting to ramp up with the age of technology, with World War III coming on the brink. Like everything's starting to accelerate a little bit more. And to keep pace with that, we need to focus on our records,
Right.
on our job of joining back together. I don't care if you Negro only, if you're Old Testament only. Like you even got some people that are Hispanic only, or even Native Indian only. I've even seen that too.
Yeah.
Again, we cannot do this separate from
Right.
our brothers. We have to do this together. We need all 12 tribes. Everybody got to come back home.
That's right.
And we need to make that allowance. I don't care how self-righteous you are, how big your beard is, how many t-shirts you got your fringes on, like whatever, how much money you make, or how many followers you got on YouTube or on Facebook or on social media. It's
Right.
it's bigger than that. And it's at such a crucial time when we're seeing everything happen. We're seeing these prophecies unfold. We're seeing the curses. Not, I don't want to necessarily say wear off, but we are seeing the transition of our kingdom coming
Right.
back into the fold, of Esau's kingdom coming to an end, and Jacob's time coming back.
Right. That's right.
Which is the kingdom of Israel.
That's right.
We're seeing the transition with all these brothers and sisters that are waking up, that are coming from completely different walks of life, that are gathering together. Even though we ain't desired and hated by everybody.
Right.
Even though we might be the fewest in number, might be the smallest in comparison to all the different nations, but we were chosen.
That's right.
And there was a different setup between us and everybody else. So again, that respect that we need to show to one another, and it's like that's the wrong word. That's the wrong word to use. The brotherhood and the sisterhood that we need to show to one another, which is a law, by the way, which is a command,
That's
which is
right.
a statute
Right.
that we need to keep, which is an oath that we take, that we need to keep and honor, to show that compassion. Despite the problems that we might have, I don't care if you're Crips and Bloods, I don't care if you're Kings and MPs, like all that. Like we need to move on from that. And I know that's a hard thing for a lot of people to understand. With all the different distractions that are in place, all the drugs, all of stimulations that are devised to keep our attention scattered everywhere else but home, but on the truth. It's an ugly thing to have to witness amongst each other. But like, all right, so we know prostitution, we know abortions, we know homosexuality, we know the drug addictions, we know the murder, we know the molestation. We're familiar with all this. Trying to heal that amongst each other is a hard thing to really understand in this day and time. And I get it. But you gotta at least come to the table, man. Like it's, if you have that want, if you have that I don't know what the word, like that desire to try to fix these problems, if you have that recognition, you recognize that this is wrong, you want to see a solution towards it, this is where you should come to try to get that metal down.
Right.
You can't keep on going to the Christian church thinking that that's going to be what solves this. It's not going to happen there, because
if I may, just exactly what the brother Officer Mugabar is saying. It's like he said. I mean, honestly, you got to ask yourself this question, right? What problem has the Christian church have ever solved?
Right.
And if you say financial, you need help.
Right.
What financial? I mean, yes, we have financial issues within our communities, but that's not the main thing. I'm talking about the thing that is killing us right now. Once again, the brother mentioned child molestation. When you have child molestation happening, you have more homosexuals.
Right. You
have more children who grow up who are damaged. You know what I mean? No father in the household. That could play a lot of factors on why brothers and sisters are the way that they are today as they grow up. Having a single parent, who the parent, she's doing her best, but she falls off. And, that can destroy the family too. Not knowing how to be a woman can destroy your daughter and your sons. Not knowing how to be a man, transitioning from a boy to a man, can be damaging to yourself and others, right? Like, there's so many problems. Drug addiction, you know what I mean? The alcoholism, the abuse, the disrespect, the strife and envy that we have against each other. The Christian church has not fixed that. They only supported it. How do we know? Look at who the Christian church is made of. Whores, homosexual, greedy bastards.
Right.
You know what I mean? If someone was trying to rob the church right now, don't you know that pastor would die for that money?
For real.
He would go tooth and nail for that money. Because he's going to say it's for the Lord. No, it's not. It's for him. The Most High don't give a damn about your money. He told you tithes is a law for a purpose. There's a purpose behind everything that the Lord says. It's about your obedience. You spend money on weed every day any other way. You see what I'm saying? You spend money on all the frivolous things that do not matter. All the things that are not going to help you.
Right.
That's only going to hurt you and the nation.
Right.
You know what I mean? Weed is not helping you. It's hurting you. Actually, they just came out with an article that I've been dying to see. You know what I mean? I've been waiting for. They said that people who smoke weed, the more that they smoke it, they're at risk at death. Your weed is not weed anymore. It never was.
Right.
It was never to be smoked in the first place. It was used for real purposes. Not your stupid anxiety and not your dumbass depression. Salakia. All right? Instead, deal with your problems head first. Be a man and a woman about it. The Christian church is going to make you soft.
For real.
It's going to make you a sinner. It gives you a license to sin and be comfortable with it. The truth makes me uncomfortable.
Right.
All the time. In a good way, though. It puts me in check. And it forces me to continue to get better and change and get better. When I say get better, meaning do better. You know what I mean? Get better at my discipline, at my brotherhood. You see what I'm saying? All that. But the Christian church, there's no accountability whatsoever. You have none. No accountability whatsoever. And that's the problem with our people. No one takes accountability for anything. And that's why the ISUPK, we do not spare anyone.
That's right.
No matter what your age is, no matter if you are a woman, you see what I'm saying? No matter if you are a child, we don't care. No matter if you got a mental disorder. I just heard the general some time ago. He says I still check people who have schizophrenia.
Right. Yeah.
And damn, that was deep. And they still obey my orders. You feel me?
Yeah.
You cannot run, and a lot of people love to run.
It's easy.
It's so easy to run, but you can only run so far until you run into one of us. And we are populating all over this place called Earth. So you can run, but you will run into one of us. And when you do, you will be dealt with. You will know about yourself and what you should do. You want to know why? Because the ISPK gives a damn about our people.
That's right.
And I stop this.
Nah, kind of. If I could clap it off on too. Those some heavy points. Because again, ain't nobody else gonna be concerned about our issues, but us over here.
Thank you.
Ain't
Good
nobody else gonna care about what we going through, but us.
Right.
And if we don't step up to do this job, they're not gonna.
Right.
I mean, they might charge you $400 an hour, for some therapy or for their involvement in it. But again, they're not going to come up with any solutions. They're just going to try to milk out whatever the hell they can get from you and exploit you however the hell they can for their monetary gain. That's all they've ever done to us. One story, up in Canada, up on the reservations up there too. Pope Francis apologizes to the indigenous delegates for deplorable abuses at residential schools. So for all the child molestation, all the abductions, all of the rape of children by their diocese members, we get an apology from the Pope. And for some people, that's for the oppressor's consideration, that's enough. Because it doesn't matter how we think or feel about it. It was documented that the Pope had apologized for what his people was doing. No, I mean, there was no punishment. Nobody went to jail for it. There was an apology given on. That's what they think of us. That's how easy it is for them to just wipe it under the table. And we've been under that for so long that we do that to each other. No, it's like how would I say? We accept that from our oppressor amongst each other. We vilify ourselves. Like we criminalize each other for it. We bang it out against each other. Again, Crips and Bloods and all the different gang retaliations and families over smaller issues than what our oppressor does to us.
Right.
That we fight each other over. They give us an apology. They make promises that they never keep, and we accept it. But then we go back to our same neighborhoods and we fight amongst each other over the smallest issues.
Right.
Over $5, that's over. Over and even much more serious issues too, which is why we need to heal that bond between each other. It's imperative for us as a nation. Again, that nation that's not desired, that's hated by everybody else. Even though we were chosen amongst everybody else, that everybody else is jealous over. Even though they got the reins right now, and they are flexing their superiority because of their position on earth. And we're feeling the inferiority that they've pressed upon us.
I like how you said that. You said that flexing their superiority.
You kind of
That's exactly what it is.
Because really they ain't. I mean, they got it right now.
Right.
They got it right now.
Live it up.
Yeah, while it lasts.
Until Christ returns.
And while that's going on, we have to heal that bond between each other. That bridge that's separating us, the Northern Kingdom, the Southern Kingdom, the Old Testament, the New Testament, the Negro only, the Hispanic only, this, that, and the third. We need this time to heal each other. You're not going to get that outside of the Bible. And like when I say outside of the Bible, outside of the UPK, you ain't going to get that outside of the UPK. Ain't nobody else going to teach you a right way to approach the situation, the right counseling to get to heal this amongst each other. Even if you ain't got no individual beef with somebody, like just to understand how to apply brotherhood, how to apply sisterhood amongst a nation that's broken and scattered across. And it can't stop at just a high holy day. Like you can't come and kick it for all right, so we got what we got coming up next. The closing out of the Feast of First Fruits. June 12th. You can't just come and kick it then. Right. Arms all open and loving, your brothers and your sisters at that point, and then, wait until the next high holy day or holy convocation or Sabbath service to reapply that. Like this is something that needs to be like diligently practiced. Where is it? All right, so James 2:26. For as the body without the spirit is dead, so faith without works is dead also.
That's right.
If your body ain't got no soul to it, if your body ain't got no spirit to it, I mean, like you're the walking dead. Like you just out there. I mean, you're doing nothing. You're doing nothing. You're not functioning. You're not progressing. You're not profiting your people. You're not being an asset in any way, shape, or form. You're empty space. Now that's the same concept with faith without works is that we don't believe in these law, statutes, commandments without active participation in them. Without all right, so no taxation upon your brothers, no usury. The charity that's applied in the Bible. I mean that's you're not doing it because it makes you feel good, even though it does feel good. I mean, again, with the food drives, the clothing drive, prison programs, the GD programs, everything that we put our efforts to, it is rewarding. But we're not doing it just for that. We're not doing it because we want to feel good. We're doing it because our people need it. We're doing it because there's people that are in prison. We're doing it because there's tent cities in Minneapolis and in St. Paul, right, and in Milwaukee and in Chicago and in St. Louis and up on the reservations and spread across. We're doing it because our people are in need. And we're doing it because we believe in our culture and in our traditions and our customs, that this is what is appropriate to, again, fix and heal the conditions of people that are broken, that are scattered across, that have been abused, that have been oppressed, that have been enslaved. We're not doing this just because it looks good on paper. And I've said this so many times before, all the brothers that get their rank raises, you're not going to put that on your job application for an oppressor's company because you think officer 5,000 is going to make you look better on your resume. You're an officer of 5,000 because the Most High trusted you with the care of your people. Right. Like you earned that rank and that responsibility. It's a burden on top of that. It's not just because you're cool or Maccabi cool as hell. But he's not a 5,000 because he's a slick brother. You know what I'm saying? Like he got responsibility on his shoulders. Also Tarab. Adawan Kudazayan.
Shit, and plus on top of that, he a camp leader.
Right, yeah, you're the camp leader too. So like even more responsibility come down on him. You know, anything that goes wrong, we got to answer for as a people. And with that brotherhood, again, to the Axel cracks, man, we can't give up on each other. We got to keep this thing moving. I don't care how small your zone is. You got a job to do. When we take up this office, we got work that needs to be jumped on. It's goddamn, how many cities are we established in? How many states are we established in? How many individual homesteads do we could you put a pin on a map on? Like if you were to number them, I mean, who was it that got punched for that? Daniel? No. For numbering Israel?
That was David.
That was David?
Yeah, he was David was okay, he was finna go to war. And the Lord had told him not to number the people, his ass do it anyway. You know what I mean? And because of that, he lost the battle. But there were few men of them against more men, and he lost the battle. But you gotta remember, there's so many battles where we were low in number, and the Lord was with us, and we won against more numbers than us, or we were outnumbered, but we still won against them because the Lord was with us. But because he disobeyed the Most High, when he specifically told him before war not to number the men, because a demon on that is you looking at your men like, all right, okay, damn, it's 10 of them, but it's only 5 of us.
Right.
You know what I mean? How are we going to win? So because of that, we had lost the war. You know what I mean? So yeah, so it's no different than like when you talk to the it's like I don't want talking to Captain Clyde before camp about and the camp leaders. I mean, and Cap says hey, but don't do this and don't do that as far as camp. You know what I mean? Just as far as an example, right? If anything was mentioned, right? And it's being done anyway, that hurts the men, you know what I mean? That hurts the men. So yeah,
right.
So yeah, like before the battle even started, you know what I mean? The Lord told him what to do, and he refused, and then boom, you know what I mean? He disobeyed the Lord's order, and that happened. The battle was lost.
Which is another huge point as far as again the responsibility that comes down with that rank.
Oh, and it's like, if I may also too, in the UPK we don't number how many members we have in the school,
right?
Because that's what the Christian church does,
right?
You know what I mean? A lot of times, a lot of battles that the school, the ISUPK, has had with other Israelite groups. I ain't gonna say no names, but they usually always say, "Oh, but we got more numbers, so the Lord must be with us."
Yeah.
But it's like, if you knew the scriptures, you would know that that's not what we do. That's not what you're supposed to do. It's not about numbers. Just because you got a lot of people with you doesn't mean that the Lord is with you. You know what I mean? I believe that there's a group of homosexuals out here. Is the Lord with them? With all the STDs? With all the violence and strife and hatred that they have for themselves? How about the group of numbers of child molesters, pedophiles? Because there's a great community of them.
Yeah.
Sex offenders. Is the Lord with them? Like, come on, man. Like you sound stupid. So like you sound dumb, stupid, and retarded. When I say retarded, I don't mean that in an offensive way as far as, the mentally challenged. You know what I mean? Meaning that you sound crazy. You're out of your mind. You're insane.
Insane.
You know what I mean?
Insane is a good word for it.
There you go.
Because you know what the outcome is.
Right.
But you think by doing what you're doing, you're going to be able to change that.
Mm-hmm.
When again, everything that you've been taught outside of the UPK, out of this one body, a Yahusha, has proven faulty. It's been proven faulty. And we cannot stress that enough. That outside of the UPK, it's been proven that people are in danger. You're going to have to deal with us at one point or another. It doesn't have to be, I mean, it can be whatever. It can be on whatever platform, however you want to come to it. But like, the world is going to have to deal with us. That's just the facts of it. When the sky cracked, when all them 200 million soldiers come flying down from the heavens, as crazy as we might seem talking about it,
Right.
when it actually pops off, again, ain't nobody can have anything to say about it. And people they celebrated Easter.
Right.
They celebrated Easter. Rabbits don't lay eggs. And Christmas ain't no fat white dude breaking into your house, sliding down your chimney. Most of y'all brothers ain't got no chimneys. We believed in a lot crazier things that have been, again, pushed on us by our oppressor, by all these different ideologies. Instead of just coming back to our roots, to our customs. And that's going to be another example of how faith without works is dead. If you don't keep these high holy days,
right? If
you don't wear our customary garbs, if you don't follow suit to our dietary laws, the things that are outlined in these records of our people, then all your efforts are dead. Like it's for naught. It's vain. And the scriptures say, what's it? From the mountains. It's like, I'm gonna look this up real quick. From the mountains, from the hilltops. Because we sacrifice our prosperity and our longevity for everybody else's consideration. We make ourselves second and third class citizens in our own records to our own power, for the very power that's going to give us salvation. We give to everybody else. It's as if, we don't want to be Israel. Like everybody, like a lot of people want to try to claim it because it sounds good. Because again, that whole shalom and all praises and double honors, like it sounds good on the surface. But without these records, without these laws being exercised and applied to our daily lives, like it don't mean nothing. It might sound good, it might look flashy on the surface to certain people that, like, all right, so like there's organizations out there that if you're not making certain dollars, you're not worthy of being in that group.
Wow, just good.
Yeah.
Christian church.
Christian church.
All over.
If you ain't got the biggest goddamn hat in the pews, you're not worthy. You're not committed to it. You're not devoted to it. When we're just, goddamn, we're just trying to survive out here, man. Like you got brothers and sisters that are barely living off of food stamps and government assistance, that are looking for some rationality out of all this chaos, and the only answer that they get is that slave Bible message. They get that. They concede to that. But when we say, like, if the Asians, if the so-called East Indians, so-called Africans, so-called Europeans and Caucasians, if they heard in the Bible that the Most High had chosen them over every other nation on earth, they would accept that, and they would be proud of that, and they would preach that throughout their people, and they would hold each other to a different standard, and there would be a lot more camaraderie around them, just like the imposters. Those Revelation 2 and 9, Revelation 3 and 9, imposters that claim to be Jews but are not, but are of the synagogue of Satan, that are liars and deceivers. They've gained wealth off of this word, applying that to themselves. Got the whole world convinced of it because they've prospered off of it. And while they're living good off of our records, using our laws to benefit them, we suffering and dying.
Right.
Off of the auspice of the slave Bible predicate. Because they got us believing that we are beneath them. Because we were enslaved. So slaves, be good slaves to your masters.
Yeah.
That's still what we believe in. Versus being brothers to each other. When, where is it? Salaki.
It's like you said, what about slaves?
When because we were slaves.
Mm-hmm.
So they use that kind of pinpoint. Once we started transitioning to the understanding English, slaves, be good slaves to your masters.
Oh, Khan. I think he's talking about Ephesians or Paul.
Khan.
Yeah, Khan. Yeah.
And I think even First Corinthians, there was something in that too.
Yeah, I believe you're right. Yes.
So they use those scriptures.
Mm-hmm.
They cut out everything else before and after that.
Yeah, Khan.
They cut out everything else around it.
Concept is everything.
Khan. But they give us that, and we believe it because we've lived in detrimental circumstances and conditions that would break everybody else. And again, we still prosper even in those conditions. We still the salt of the earth. Even in that poverty, they still try to emulate us. Like you can't stop this, but you got to get your head out the gutter and get it back into the game. Where we're so close. We're so close. And one of the main reasons that we talk so much about this is because we don't want to see anybody destroyed. We want everybody from the 12 tribes to come back home, man. We want to see everybody make it. This ain't no 2/3 doctrine that you got a lot of other people bumping their gums about that don't even know what the hell they're talking about. The Lord does not delight in the destruction of his people. He would rather that we turn back and come back home, man.
Right.
Despite everything that's going on with all these world wars, I don't want to say necessarily who cares about it, because we're still going to have to deal with the repercussions of it. Being able to provide for one another, and again, that brotherhood between each other. Despite what's going on between them, we're going to have to learn how to rely on one another.
Right.
And how to commerce with one another, how to converse with one another, how to depend on one another, how to relate with one another. And again, all these different backgrounds that have been introduced and propagated, thinking, and that's the other messed up part too. Like, all right, so we got a little bit of the truth. They got a little bit of the truth. There's other people over here, they got a little bit of the truth. I studied with them because they seem like they got a little bit of the truth. And then I studied with them because they seem like they got some of the truth. And then I think I got some of the truth because of somebody else that seems like they got, it's a never ending, this jackass cycle that you're just going to keep on running in circles. Like that's never going to end. somebody's got to be right. Somebody's got to be wrong. It just so happens, and despite how people feel about it, the UPK or the Commanding General Yana is right, and it's worth a look. It's at least worth sitting down and talking about it. While we got that little bit of breathing room to sit down and talk about it. It's at least worth that since everybody's so heartfelt and dedicated on the truth and finding out the truth, it's at least worth sitting down and discussing, even if you got disagreements before the nukes drop and before the U.S. Enacts the draft, and people are going to start rioting and fighting against it before going to war again for our oppressor's sake. Their own people don't even want to go to war for them, but we're gonna raise our hand because they're gonna promise you benefits. They're gonna promise you college scholarships and a nice package when you come back from your tour. When we've done this time and time again, and every time that we came back from, we still got hung in that uniform. We got burnt alive in that uniform, stripped butt naked and paraded through the streets after defending this country that they hold dear. They didn't go to war for them. We did. We still came back and got persecuted for the shit that they didn't want to do. Slaki. For putting forth an effort that they did not want to contribute for their own people. We took that mantle up.
Right.
Like we love them. They hate us.
Right.
But we still give an allowance for them. But then we hate each other. And we got problems amongst our neighborhoods, amongst our families that need to be resolved. But we take up everybody else's consideration before our own. We want to hold hands with everybody while they're going through, something that they brought on themselves too. This has nothing to do with us. Got nothing to do with us. World War I and II had nothing to do with us. But we're the Tuskegee Airmen and the Red Wings. You know what I'm saying? Like, it had nothing to do with us. Or the Red Tails. It's like the Red Tails. It's like if I got that wrong, but
the Tuskegee Airmen.
I thought there might have been two different groups. Tuskegee Airmen. But then I thought there was like another one, like the Red Tails. It's like if I got that part wrong, if I misspoke on.
They were the same thing, right?
I thought they were like the first like black
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, the first black airman. Was that just the Tuskegee?
Nope, no, you're right. It was a movie based on that. Back in 2012. You had Cuba Gooding Jr., Terrence Howard, David I forget his name, Nate Parker. You had a dude from Malcolm in the Middle, the father, Bryan Cranston.
Okay.
Tristan Wilds. Method Man, Michael B. Jordan, Neo, Elijah Kelly. You probably don't know who that is. He's a singer. You had a lot of people.
We've done this song and dance.
Yes, I know exactly.
We've done this potluck, gathering with everybody, and they still hate the shit out of you.
Yeah.
And then we take that back home, and we hate our wives. We hate our sons. We hate our daughters. We hate our brothers. We hate our sisters. Sisters hate their husbands. They hate their kids. They hate the people that surround them, that they grew up with. When this is the time, like this is a golden opportunity even to focus on each other. Because again, they're not gonna, and I don't care what benefits that they try to wave in front of you. They have no solution for the problems that we have in our household. They don't know how to counsel this. They don't have enough medication or government assistance or programs to heal the infractions amongst each other. And I know people don't like to hear it, but in the UPK under Commanding General Yahana, we do have that. For once in our lives, we got somebody that you can turn to. You got a nation. You've got an army that you can actually turn to for counsel, for advice, for safekeeping. If you ever wanted to trust anybody, you can come home and you can find that right here. And it's going to be uncomfortable for everybody else, because while they're just trying to fit in and just be a good person, because they got a personal relationship with God, and just be a good person, everybody, high fives and handshakes and flowers and rainbows and hugs and kisses, and smoke a little weed with you, and all these other excuses to avoid reality. Everything that makes them feel good in the moment, that has nothing to do with the conditions that we are actively living in, that have no offer of for the solutions that we need to heal the bonds that have been broken between not only our different tribes, Ephraim and Naphtali and Gad and Zebulun and Rauban and Shemawan and Judah and Asher, and all the different tribes. The development of Israel means the destruction of Esau. And that can be discouraging to some people who have been so embedded in this indoctrination and social acceptance. Like, it's going to be rough to lose that. And I get it. We've been so used to it. We've relied on them for so damn long. Like, how can we just give up on them? How can we just let them go? It's like we can't live a life without our oppressor being in control of it, without giving us the permission to live, to breathe, to farm our own lands, to govern our own lands, to govern the problems between each other. You got Edomite, you got devils on the reservations for the cops and for the judges, for the lawyers. Of course, you're gonna get the short end of the stick, because your oppressor is in rulership. Like they controlling that whole system, and we can't move freely in their society without not only giving tribute to them, but bowing down to their authority. If they want to step in, they're going to step in. We're not a people that's at a point where, like, again, like if they were to treat Arabs the same way that they treat us, malls are getting bombed, stadiums are getting bombed. You know how many suicide bombers that are just willing to just jump off a bridge, strapped to the T with some C4? Like, they don't care. Like, they were ready to go for their people. And they have a whole nation behind them that's nuclear armed, that have allies, and they got money, and they got power and prestige behind them that are ready to bang this shit out. They got an Asian, that Asian hate crime bill passed after one incident that occurred. Damn near overnight. I mean, they got that passed like ASAP. We've been fighting for civil rights since, the 60s and 70s, from the 50s even. They still got no results. On paper, they may have said something, but look what still happens to us, because we do not have a nation in place to stand up for us. Everybody else does. Everybody that works at Dunkin' Donuts and Subway, they got a nation backing them up. You know what I'm saying? Like, if anybody were to try to press them the way that so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are getting pressed by our oppressor, they got a nation backing them up that are ready and willing to go to war. They would have diplomatic like problems if they did that to anybody else. But they damn near got free reign on us. The Pope can just give an apology, and you know the world forgives them, and we have no voice in the matter. Our brothers and sisters are going missing from the reservations left and right. The drug abuse and addiction, the abortions, the gang feuds. We're left to every evil device that this world has given us and separated us by.
That's right. God.
And it's time that, again, to the Axel crack, we got a job to do. There's gonna be problems that people ain't gonna want to get over, that you're just gonna have to, you know, for the next generation. You know, think about everyone wants to talk about it. What about the children, man? Think about the kids. Think about the next generation that's gonna come in after you. And the problems that we have between us that have been inflated, a lot of them started off very small. Small, stupid arguments. Again, and being pitted against each other by our enemies. Psalms 133, verse 1. Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. That's what we had at the Passover. That's what we got. Yeah, like, that's what we got here, man. And you ain't gonna see this nowhere else. All these different groups of people with all these different backgrounds coming together in unity, no problems. You got people that literally come from opposing gangs that left that whole world behind to push forward the kingdom of Israel, the kingdom of heaven on earth. Because we're seeing it happen. We're seeing it happen. You can't change what's going on, what is actually occurring. All the problems that we're seeing right now, I don't want to say, you can't gloss over it. You got to acknowledge it. We have to learn how to roll with the tide, how to roll with these punches. But we're watching. We are literally watching that grasp on authority switching over. Esau's kingdom is coming to an end. Jacob's kingdom is coming to fruition. This is happening right now. In the midst of this, we cannot lose focus. We got a job to do. Again, to the Axel cracks, man. We got work to put in. We cannot lose focus just because they got their soap opera, you know, happening. We've got our prophecy unfolding. We need to jump on this. We need to stay diligent. We need to keep, 10 toes down. We need to back each other up on this.
That's right.
I don't care what background you come from, Christian, Muslim, agnostic, candy cane, purple rain, other people that I had, perfect time for this scripture too. Because, we all need this too. If you don't think that you need compassion, that you need forgiveness, you better take a look in the mirror and understand that the lives that we lived prior to coming into the truth, prior to coming home, we deserve that death.
Right.
We owe each other that compassion and that understanding and that camaraderie. Like, it's like, who the hell are you I ain't shit. I should have been dead years ago. The Most High would have been right to wipe me off. For whatever reason, we still here. Matthew chapter 18, verse 21. Then came Peter to him and said, Lord, how oft shall my brother sin against me and I forgive him? Till 7 times? Verse 22. Yahweh said unto him, I say not unto thee until 7 times. Don't just don't think that, again, a lot of your modern day Christians will have that air about them, like holier than thou art. I forgive them, but they still got that hatred in their heart. But on the surface, they try to present it as they're doing something righteous, when in the back of their head, they still hate the shit out of you for even the slightest, transgressions over something that they owe somebody else to. Things like they gonna proclaim that they forgave you, but they need forgiveness from somebody else too. They need forgiveness from the Most High too. But they're gonna try to portray it again like they got that big ass hat, so they must be better than everybody else. So they're gonna wear that on their sleeve like a badge of honor, when really that's their shame, and that's gonna be their undoing.
Right.
Yahweh said unto them, I say not unto thee until 7 times, but until 70 times 7. I mean, that means all day long. If you think that the life that you lived before isn't worthy of damnation, you got something else coming. Like, people need to humble themselves and learn how to have compassion for your brothers and your sisters that are also going through something. And don't be afraid to take the counsel either. If you got an issue going on, like you got a lot of people that are in denial, that don't want to come to terms with maybe things that they've done, offenses that they've made. But again, they wear fringes, or I can't even say that they pay tithes, but well, maybe they're paying triple tithes with somebody else. I don't know how they're doing it, but they feel like they're making some type of progress based off their own understanding. You got a lot of individualites out there that are missing their chance to restore, again, the problems that we carry as people. They're missing the chance to put their brick in, to be a part of something that they took from us. And it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be a walk in the park. It's going to be worth it at the end. Don't lose focus of the job that we have to do just because the rest of the world is melting down. We got work to do. You got brothers and sisters that need your help. You got value here in the UPK. You got value here in Israel that can benefit and reach out to people that may have never known any type of peace or compassion from the lives that they lived, from their parents, from their so-called friends, from their environment, from their block. They've only ever known violence and hell. We got that chance to show them something different. That nation that's not desired. Even though we better than everybody else. We have more to offer the world than anybody else. even in our worst conditions, everything that we've everything that the world has gained off of our blood, sweat, and tears, has proven our worth to everybody else except for each other. We don't even give each other that enough credit on that front. And we hate each other with the same conviction that our oppressor hates us with. And that all these other people that take advantage of us, we hate each other and we treat each other with that same indignation. Mm-hmm. When we live, in the same house, across the hall, in the same apartments, across the street, in the same projects, in all these different cities, in all these different little townships, we prefer our oppressor's way of life versus our records. This is going to be a tough thing to come back to if we keep on fighting the truth. And you're gonna lose friends and family and fans across the way. Your Facebook friend, profile might go down a little bit. Who cares? Your self-respect will go up. The value of your children is going to go up. Their self-respect is going to go up. The way that they treat their brothers and sisters coming up in the world is going to increase. The young brothers and sisters that we had, again, just to witness them at the Passover too, the camaraderie amongst them at such a young age, never having to know what the crack epidemic did to their community. Like they don't even really feel any of that. They don't know anything about that because of the life that they live in now. Because of the change that their parents made coming into the truth to give them a better quality of life. They ain't never got to know about that. They might see it, in the movies and read about it in articles and whatnot, but they themselves are never going to have to experience that. And that's all because of the Most High in Christ. That we get that second chance to redeem our children so that they ain't got to suffer the same shit that we've been faced with. Right. We got a job to do. Do not lose focus just because our oppressor is going through some turmoil and they're going through their problems. We got our problems to deal with. Right. We got to heal home. It's going to start here. It's going to end here. This kingdom is changing hands. The tides of authority is changing over. Esau's kingdom is coming to an end. It is coming to an end. Before our very eyes. Do not lose focus of that. That's right. The kingdom of Yahweh and Yahweh Shai is coming into fruition. It's happening right now. Right. Don't be disparaged by what we see that's going on out here. Right. If they cut off your EBTs, if you don't get the unemployment, or I think they're done with the stimulus packages, but despite all that, I don't care what ends on their side of it. All those little benefits the little crumbs that they've been feeding us. Don't lose focus on the brotherhood and on the sisterhood. That's right. Any problems that you got in your family, with your neighbors, with other Israelite groups, or however they want to consider themselves, we got to learn to bury that. Put all them issues to the side. Because this is happening. People don't really, I don't think it's connecting for a lot of people. This is actually going down. World War III, that changing over, when the wicked rule, when the righteous are in authority, that whole, what is that in Ezekiel? Proverbs. In Proverbs. Kind of kind. Precept kind.
Also, too, I have the precept that you keep saying over and over.
Let's get it. You got it?
I got it right.
Baruch Hashem.
Second Ezra chapter 6.
Yeah.
Verse 9.
Yeah. Yeah.
For Esau is the end of the world.
End of the world.
And Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth.
Now again, and that lets you know that whole John 3:16 thing, when it talks about the world, you got to take it into context. There's a reason why they're using these words and the definitions behind it. Esau is the end of the world. Like this age of society that we know right now, like that's about to be done. Jacob's is coming to follow. So like,
and Jacob is the beginning of it that follows.
The beginning of it, the beginning of the world that follows.
That's right.
That's that it that it's referring to. So if one world ends, like that doesn't mean that this earth, that this globe that we're sitting on is gonna, blow up and then all of a sudden, Jacob's world is gonna, fuse it all back together, rock by rock. That's not what it's talking about. It's talking about the age of society. The social construct that we're experiencing right now is coming to an end.
Right.
It's falling, like, at the end of their fingertips. It's falling away from their control. And Jacob's is coming into fruition. That's why you got all these Israelite brothers and sisters waking up. That's why you got the UPK going so damn hard on every platform and with the diligence and that faith that we was talking about too, where that work is applied. It's happening. We're watching this. We're living this. Don't lose focus just because our oppressor is going through their motions.
Yeah.
Just because their kingdom is falling, that's not your house that's on fire.
Yeah.
That is not your house. That ain't got nothing to do with you. Let it burn.
Right.
Let it burn. In the meantime, grab your brother and your sister and get them out of that burning house. Bring them back home, man. Yeah, kind of okay. About to end it on that. All right, so Salaki for that pause real quick, but again, the same focus that we've been giving our oppressor and backing up their nation, their efforts for their cause, we need to bring that back home and provide that same energy, keep that same energy for Israel. People ain't gonna like it, grandma and grandpa, they're gonna hate you for it. They're gonna want you to include everybody else in their mama because they got a personal relationship with God and who knows what else they believe in. But while we're watching this kingdom, our oppressor's kingdom fall and shatter and break away and blow into the wind, and our nation starting to step up and rise, just keep that same energy for your people. Don't worry about them. They got their problems to deal with. We got ours to deal with. Go to ISUPK.com. Look out at the contact page. Look up the school near you. Get in contact with them. See what you can do to contribute. See what, ask if you have any needs, any requests, anything that that you might need for your family, for your household. Ask. See what we can do for you too. This is what we do with each other. Like, share, subscribe to the content. And with that, we are going to close out class. We're going to get into the security announcements. So with that, Amadio. ISUPK security announcements. Where the ISUPK started out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they're off limits for 6 months. It'll be saluted only. They're here to show themselves as the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You can find it in Numbers chapter 18, verse 21, and Malachi chapter 3, verses 8 through 10. Means 10th in the Hebrew, Ma'ishu. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the Treasury Department and teach it. The priest fund. Free will offering for priests, not mandatory, whatsoever amounts you would like. Again, go to ISUPK.com, scroll down to the Donate Now button, pay your tithes, make donations there. If you have the Zelle app, first name Israel at School, last name UPK, email tithes@ISUPK.com. If you have the Cash App, $ UPK Minnesota, all caps. If you want to make any donations to our zone, otherwise, again, get in contact with the school near you and see what you can do to help out. Upcoming all the convocations. So we just ended the Feast of Unleavened Bread. July 12th at sundown is going to be the closing of the Feast of First Fruits. So again, get in contact with the school near you, see what you can do to contribute with them or whatever assistance you might need. Any brother wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black. It means your boots, your shirt, your pant, your headband, and or scarf. With that, Panyako, which means turn and face the east. I'm going to say the Lord's Prayer in Hebrew. You can find it in Matthew chapter 6, verse 8 through 13. I'll try. Keep an eye on it. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Hayah, Shamka, Yahweh, Malakuka, Taba'ah, Batazaka, Hayah, Aisha, Ba'aratazak, Kawak, Hayah, Bashamayim, the Thundernawa, Lakam, Ko, Yawam, Wasalak Nawa, Kabawat Nawa, Kasalak Nawa, Kabawati Nawa, Wala'ah, Tabiyah Nawa, Banasai Wan, Abo, Awshah Nawa, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Waha'ala, Wahata Pararat, Lawalamya, Aman. In English, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. Pray to bless Israel and the evil. Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, Barak Lanawa, Wayasha'ala, Wahabayat, Sapari, Barak, Rapa'ah, Magan, Hagan. At this time, you can say the name of a loved one once. Everyone repeats that name once. If you're following us on social media, you type in the name of a loved one. Everyone repeats that in Slack. We'll send the prayers up with you. Slack, you're having a bit of a connection issue. Slack, just for time's sake, Israelite School UPK, all of Israel. By Hashem Yahushua, throughout our month. In English, Lord, in the name of Yahushua, bless us and Israel. In the school, bless, heal, shield, protect our loved ones. In the name of Yahushua, thank you, so be it. Blessed are you, Yahweh, King of heaven and earth, and all things living. Yahweh, in the name of Yahushua, listen to us now, right now. Send evils and curses, and punishment and destruction to the heathen that speak against us, thy prophets, the teachers, the princes, the priests, the Israelite brothers, and the school. Send evils and curses, and punishment and destruction to the heathen, and shake loose the treasure of the rich of Israel that refuse to give to the school. Force their riches to enter into thy sanctuary. Send evils and curses, and punishment and destruction to the Edomites and the nations and their drug dealers, their court system, prison system, Planned Parenthood, all the governments of our enemies, Amalek synagogues and armies, Roman Catholic Church, the Pope, Islam, Christianity, Egyptology, militia, Ku Klux Klan, Aryan Nation, skinheads, Hazakomatizing, the gay movement, the lesbian movement, spies, workers of witchcraft, NASA space programs, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Wall Street, open up the internet and the airwaves, cable access channels, and the radio channels. Convict the spirit of any of thy people that seek to stop us and bring swift destruction to all the heathen that stand in the way or try to stop us from broadcasting your words throughout the planet Earth. Let loose all the plagues, cause them to go to and fro through the earth and consume them. Let the plague shake the house of the thief and the murderer. Let Yahushua, Michael, and Gabriel come down from flying saucers, punish all the heathens that come up against us as we speak thy word. Cause it to be known by all that it's the angels that have done it. Cause it to be spread through the media throughout the whole world. Cause them to shake it that coming. In the name of Yahushua, thank you always. So be it. Sorry. Coming to the front. Men of Israel, Mighty Shabbat, Mighty Barak, Yahba Hashem Yahushua Barakathon. Shout out to the sisters, any sisters in your room, turn to them, courtesy salute. Men of Israel, Mighty Shabbat, Mighty Barak, Yahushua Latam Ba Hashem Yahushua. Yazamatah, class dismissed.